Welcome everyone. My name is Sarosh Shahid. I'm the Director for Student and Early Career Development at ASME, and welcome to our Student and Early Career Town Hall. For anyone who is joining us for the first time, I wanted to share some background about ASME. ASME was founded in 1880 to provide engineers with a forum to discuss concerns related to the rise of new technologies. Created by a small group of leading industrialists, the society now includes more than 90,000 members in over 140 countries, including nearly 25,000 student members. ASME continues to be at the forefront of advancing engineering for the benefit of humanity. So we have a great session today with a lot of great updates. Just some housekeeping for everyone on the call. As we go through the session, please submit your questions via the Q&A feature on Zoom, and we'll be collecting all those questions. And at the end of our presentation, we will have a Q&A where we will address as many of those questions as we can in the time we have available. So as we get into our town hall, I wanted to start by talking about sections, which are such a critical part of what ASME does. And for those who are not familiar, sections are a member benefit, and they provide an opportunity to engage with local engineers. So what that means is if it's a student section, they're local to your college or university, and a professional section is local to your geography. They provide great opportunities for networking, career advancement, mentoring, and just advancement of mechanical engineering as a whole and giving back to your community. So we are posting some links throughout the chat, throughout the webinar today. So please do visit the website for more information related to either a student or professional section. And now I'd like to turn it over to Elizabeth Stratton, who is going to take us through some updates related to K through 12 and early career programming. Elizabeth.
Hello, everyone. I'm Elizabeth Stratton, Chair of the Early Career Engineer Programming Committee. Just to talk a little bit about the ASME virtual K through 12 sessions. ASME is now a collaborative partner with Discovery Education and is offering virtual K through 12 classroom drop-ins. Leveraging the Discovery Education classroom pipeline, each session focuses on a contemporary, unique topic where engineers and the STEM community at large have the capacity for high impact and problem solving for good. If you are interested in being involved, contact Patty Jo Rosenthal to find out more about how to go through the training for outreach and best practices for K through 12 student events in preparation for these sessions. It's a great opportunity to get involved. Next slide. So through the ECEPC, I'm very involved with developing ASME Future Me events. If you haven't heard of ASME Future Me, it's a community tailor-made for engineers with 0 to 10 years of work experience. FutureMe is the brand name for all things early career engineer related and delivers content and resources and facilitates community and connectedness among early career engineers using online forums and special events. For any of you early careers out there, find your community with FutureMe. Others of you who are interested are welcome to join us as well. Next, there are many FutureMe programs available as well. FutureMe provides various programs for early career engineers, such as the FutureMe Mini Talks. This program is an event featuring TED-style talks that you may be familiar with on technical trends, leadership development, soft skills, and other topics. As an early career engineer, you might be interested in these things because you can attend them or watch the virtual mini talks to learn and gain new insights. You could also be a mini talks presenter yourself. In this kind of role, you can speak in front of large groups of people. You can enter into a coaching and mentoring relationship with the mini talk organizers to develop the talk, or you could be featured on our YouTube and other social media channels. We also have the opportunity where you could join one of the ECEPC teams, the Early Career Engineer Programming Committee teams, to help develop this program and plan the scalable program. If you're interested, we're excited to announce that there will be a virtual mini talks on March 7th with the topic of navigating work from home during a pandemic. Some of the topics will include onboarding a new job during the pandemic, and finding mentors and building mentorship relationships in a work from home environment. Please make sure to watch all of our social media channels for upcoming announcements with more details. So some other additional ways that you can become engaged. I want to bring attention to you that ME Today is available. It's an online newsletter delivered direct to your inbox. You'll need to make sure to opt in order to receive it. So if you haven't ever gone there, go to asme.org, look for your account. It'll say my account, and you look for that section, and within that you can go to your communication preferences, find newsletters, and verify that the ME Today checkbox is selected. Something else that you can find as a resource is the Bridge Basics for Career Development. These are also known as the ABCD modules. This series provides early career engineers with a brief introduction to different career development topics that include real-world examples. I've already mentioned to make sure to look for our social media channels, but specifically, you might want to know where to find them. They're on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter, but they all reference ASME Future Me. And then lastly on this slide, you'll see that we have an upcoming resource that will be available to early career engineers. We're developing a digital platform for young engineers to plan ahead with the working title Career Engagement Center, or CEC. It's a tool to track longer-term career pathways and goals. Individuals can explore different career roadmaps and skills, degrees, and certifications. You can gain timely market insights on evolving and emerging technologies and fields to make informed decisions about reskilling and upskilling. There will also be labor market intelligence driven through mining of job databases and the collective human capital of the ASME network. So something else that you may be interested in being involved in, and all early career engineers, we really want to hear from you. The ASME Future Me video submission event is designed to give engineers a chance to share their career experiences, learn from others, and be part of a community of engineers that want to be creative and showcase their enthusiasm for the profession and encourage other professionals. Whether you are a TikTok star or regularly share your story on Instagram, or maybe you have never shared your own video story, we still want to hear from you. Check out the link for more details on how to submit your success story by March 15th. Now I'd like to turn it back to Sarosh to talk about awards and scholarships.
Great, thank you, Elizabeth. So we wanted to make sure and highlight all the various awards, scholarships, and loans that ASME offers. Recognizing our members' achievements is core to any professional society like ASME. And we have 16 student early career and mentor advisor awards each year, as well as graduate student teaching fellowships. Many of them have deadlines fast approaching, so please make sure to check out all the links for the latest information on how to apply and what those deadlines are. We have a lot of them listed here, and I know Callie is posting links in the chat. So I also wanted to highlight, if we go to the next slide, a specific opportunity that we have for a fellowship with our Engineering for Global Development team. Applications for the Engineering for Change, or E4C Research Fellowship, are now open until February 28th. The E4C Fellowship is a distinctive workforce development program in engineering for global development, serving to activate and empower engineering students and early career engineers worldwide to solve local and global challenges. So please do make sure to have a look at that website for more information. And now I'd like to turn things over to Danielle Ritchie for an update on all things Efest. Danielle?
Sorry, thanks, Sarosh. Hi, my name is Danielle Ritchie. I'm a volunteer for ASME on the Efest Steering Committee. And speaking of Efest, I want to remind everyone to visit our Efest YouTube channel for lots of great videos. We're updating the content and channels weekly with our newest content from Efest Careers that we held on November 7th of last year. If you're working on getting a job or an internship, check out the resume review simulation or the interview simulation I highly recommend all the content that's out there. If you're thinking about changing careers or want special sessions on specific skills like CAD, I definitely recommend checking it out. So go to efestdigital.asme.org. So on the next slide, I mentioned eFest, and it's short for Engineering Festivals, which is way more than just a series of events. So they're a movement driven by engineering students like you that have gained force globally. In 2020, we piloted a completely virtual series of events due to COVID-19. To keep everyone safe but connected and inspired, we're excited to continue down this path and host a second Efest Digital on April 24th, 2021. We invite you to join thousands of students from around the world on the 24th to ignite innovation, build your resume, meet with potential employers, participate in stimulating competitions, and jumpstart your career, and most importantly, just celebrate engineering. So we're actually kicking off Efest Digital on the evening of April 23rd, around 8 p.m. US Eastern Time, with a social networking session as we celebrate the 24 hours of eFest innovation. We'll have content from around the world during different time zones in different languages. We're planning on showcasing the competitions, which Nathan will talk about shortly, and announce the winners of those competitions. There will be special sessions focused on skill building, leadership, experiential learning, career storytelling, sponsored technical content, dedicated networking events, and much more. We're actually opening registration tomorrow morning, which is really exciting. Go to efestdigital.asme.org to register, but make sure you check back in with the website regularly to check out any updates. I'd like to turn the presentation over to Nathan Taylor, who's going to talk to you more about our upcoming competitions. Thanks, Nathan.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Nathan Taylor. I'm the volunteer chair of the Student Programming Committee, and I'm going to give you a little overview of each of our student competitions that we have going on this spring. There's several of them, and they all culminate at the Efest Digital, but they all have some different deliverables throughout the spring. All of these are a great opportunity for you to, for one thing, it gives you an activity to really practice your engineering skills, and also your maybe not quite as seen as engineering skills, such as like speaking and presenting, and all of those will really benefit you in your career. And so I really encourage you to participate in all or any of these. So the first one here is the student design competition. This year, the challenge is to harvest renewable energy. And so this year you will build a small vehicle, and that vehicle has to use and collect energy and move about a course. And so for this one, you can go online, check out the rules, and register starting tomorrow as part of the Efest Digital. This competition will work in several different phases, but they're all, because this year we're going to be fully virtual. This year, everyone has to compete with their vehicle at their home or at their school, and then submit videos. But they're doing something really cool, the Student Programming Committee, where they're going to try to replicate the live event as much as possible. And so there's a couple different phases. The first phase of the competition is on March 26th. And so if you're interested, please go online and make sure to submit your first deliverable by March 26th. But after that, there will be several different phases as you progress in the competition. So it's pretty exciting. Definitely check it out. This next one is the Human Powered Vehicle Challenge. This is a larger scale competition. So teams of students build these vehicles that you can actually ride and compete. And you have to go through the entire engineering process where you will ideate and create CAD models and do simulation and actually build something. This year, because it's going to be virtual, there isn't a live vehicle, like a live vehicle competition. So instead, there's two different digital competitions. First is the critical design review, which is going to happen on the February 27th. And so teams can design a vehicle and present their work that they've done on that design. And then the next competition of the HPVC is the innovation competition, which is going to be on April 3rd, where you can present on a specific innovation that you've come up with for your vehicle. So the CDR deadline has already passed, but the innovation deadline is next week. And so if you have a team, or if you want to make a team, you still have time to register and compete in the innovation competition. You can check out the rules and register on their website. The next one is IM3D. IM3D is a competition which focuses on 3D additive manufacturing. This year's challenge is a unmanned aerial racing cargo vehicle. And so it's a flying UAV, which also has to lift a cargo. And you have to move that cargo throughout a course. And so you design and build this vehicle from scratch, you 3D print it, and then you can compete at a course at your school or at your home, and then submit that as a video, as that's how you will compete this year. The rules are available. This is a really exciting competition. It's been around just a couple of years, and so I highly suggest checking it out. This is the elevator pitch competition. This one's a little different than the others we talked about, where it's you don't actually build something. What it is you get the chance to practice your presentation skills. And this one has a special focus, which is more on entrepreneurship. And so what it is you get 90 seconds to pitch let's see. Well, either way, it has a challenge, which is to talk about how digital transformation has changed our ways of working. That's this year's prompt. And so you can talk about that and try to sell the judges in a live way via Zoom on how, on your views on digital transformation. And your goal in this competition is not necessarily to convey a technical topic, more to convince the judges that what you're talking about, and they want to come back and talk to you more later. And so that's a really valuable skill these days with entrepreneurship and trying to grow. If you really want to work for yourself and build your own thing, it's important to be able to convey your ideas in a concise way. And that's the goal of this one. Oh, I'm sorry. And registration is by March 20th for that competition. So please register. The next is the oral competition, which is a larger, longer format presentation. In this one, you present on a technical topic, and the focus is really to be able to convey technical information in a longer format, and which is a very valuable skill for every engineer. We all have to present on a regular basis, and so this is really to help grow those skills. This competition is going to be live via Zoom also, and you have to register and submit a speaker release by March 19th, and the rules are available on the website. This next one is also is somewhat an oral competition, or it is an oral competition, but it's a little different than the previous because this is hosted by the Environmental Systems Division, which is a separate area of ASME, and it's really focused on presenting about environmental topics. And there's a lot of cool things about this competition. The first is that it's focused on environmental topics. The next is that it's not just a student competition. All these other ones that I presented and are focused for undergrads. This competition has a undergrad, graduate student, and early career component, and each one has slightly different topic. So if you're in any of those categories and you have any interest in environmental engineering, please consider competing. The way that this one works is that you submit a written abstract. Those abstracts are judged, and then you will submit a video presentation. And if you are selected amongst the finalists for the video presentation, then you'll do a live Zoom presentation that'll be on the day of Efest Digital. We just extended the deadline for this competition until the end of next week. So if you're interested, there's still time to register. Please go on the website, check out the rules, submit an abstract, and I think that'll be a valuable experience. Next is another new competition. It's presented and judged by one of our sponsors, Altair. Altair is a company that creates simulation software to do computer analysis. And their challenge is to use computer-aided engineering to simulate a design problem that you may have. This is an individual or team competition. So you can use Altair software simulate something and then write a report and submit it for judging and potentially win some prizes. And they also, a great thing about this competition, and really I think for anyone that's interested, is Altair has free software available. So I think even if you're not participating in this competition, you can download the student version of the software and use it to do some CFD analysis or any kind of FEA analysis. They have different things you can do. Go online to the website. The first deliverable is on March 8th. You have to register for the Efest Digital and register for this competition, and all those details are in their rules and on the website. And, all right, now I'm going to hand it back off to Danielle. Thank you.
Thanks, Nathan. So I'm going to talk about some volunteer opportunities. I always recommend volunteering. It's a great way to get involved, and in your involvement, you get to meet people and then also develop your network. So we have some great opportunities for you to be involved with ASME, including some standards and certification committees, subcommittees, and working groups. That's that first link on the page here. One example is mobile unmanned systems for inspection and maintenance. However, you can find many other groups looking for volunteers that help shape tomorrow's ASME. We mentioned Efest Digital coming up on April 24th, and this is an event for you, but we really depend on you as a volunteer to host this event. So please click on the link there. We need your help. At the very bottom, you'll see an email address for judges. So this is a huge thing coming up really soon. We'll definitely need judges for the Old Guard competition and the IM3D competition. Many of the judging takes place prior to the April 24th event. So please email us with your name and contact information at efest@asme.org if you're interested. That's that bottom email address. Other volunteering opportunities for Efest Digital. During the event itself, we're going to need volunteers to help direct questions and other general support. So that's that link in the middle. And then we'll need at the bottom, the third bullet. And then we'll also need student ambassadors to help spread the word via social media to your universities, chapters before, during, and after the event. So that's that middle link. So again, this competition, Efest Digital, really depends on you, and we hope to have you volunteer and help us out. So please check out all the opportunities for ASME. And then one more thing to note, it's really great to keep kind of a heads up on what's going on with ASME for the early career and student events calendars. So to get to this, go to asme.org, conferences and events, and you'll see this page here. So in the middle, you'll see this link that says conferences and events. So click on that, that's number one. And then on the left-hand side, use the filters to select what you're interested in. So figure out if you're interested in conferences, sections, seminars, workshops, and then scroll down, and that's on the right-hand side. That's under number 3, and select the audience or the demographic that you're interested in, whether that's like early career or students, and it'll filter, as you can see in the middle, on upcoming events that will really help you out with your career, with your interests. So please check that out and stay tuned. Again, Efest Digital is coming up on the 24th of April, so that'll be our next big event. But other things that we have to offer are like webinars and town halls. So keep all of that in mind as you stay connected. I'm going to turn it back over to Sarosh now, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Danielle. I also just wanted to call out that we are close to the end of the presentation. So if there are any questions, please do use the Q&A, because we'll be starting the Q&A session shortly. So I did want to take a moment and just speak about the value that an ASME membership can provide. We all know about all of the tangible benefits, and they're very clearly laid out, but there are some amazing intangible benefits of becoming a member that are more based on experiences, building relationships, and the opportunity to give back to the community. Danielle just spoke about volunteering as a great example of that. We do have some seasoned members who will be joining our Q&A, and I'm sure they would be very happy to speak about a lot of those intangible benefits, as well as tangible, that they've gained from as an ASME member over the years. I also wanted to call out that we will be having a post-event survey. It will include a link to discounts on membership renewals and new memberships, which we also have listed on the slide and also in the chat. So please do take advantage of that. But let me go to something that is a very clear and tangible benefit. We know this is very popular with our student community. And with graduation season approaching, we did want to take a moment and call this out, that ASME does have stoles available, which are a great way to show your pride, whether it's for your local chapter or your section. They can be shipped to you directly. There's lots of information on how to order it on the website, so please do make sure to check it out. These are always a great way to represent your pride and visibility for your involvement in ASME. So as we're approaching the end of the session, there are some key takeaways that I just wanted to highlight, because I know there's a lot of information that we presented to you in a very short time. So do make sure to opt in for future communications and updates from our website. You can also manage your communication preferences on newsletters, subscriptions from preferences.asme.org. We also have our volunteer leadership directory, which is a great resource to connect with other volunteers and ASME leaders. And again, just a reminder to fill out the survey. You'll have access to those discount codes that we just mentioned. And I did, we've been talking a lot about sections, student sections, professional sections, and you've heard a lot from me today and my colleagues and volunteer leaders on what we do on the student and early career side. But I did want to take a moment and introduce everyone to my colleague, Evelyn Taylor. Evelyn oversees all things related to student and professional sections. So what this means is that, if you have questions about resources for activity funding, speakers for section meetings, and anything else that's related to sections, Evelyn is definitely the person to reach out to. We do work very closely together, so rest assured that even if you reach out to me or Evelyn, we'll make sure that we get you the right information as soon as possible. So as we close out, I also just wanted to highlight and share all of our website links, our social media channels. These are by far the best way to stay up to date on the latest of what's going on programmatically, our events, our competitions. Please make sure to subscribe and follow all of our channels. And with that, I think we're ready for Q&A. So I am going to turn it over to Anand Sethupathi, who's our Managing Director of Programs, who will lead us through this part. So welcome, Anand.
Thanks, Sarosh. So we're going to open it up for Q&A now. If you'd like to ask a question, just feel free to put it into the Q&A feature here in Zoom webinar, and we'll go through the entire list. Before we jump into Q&A, I just wanted to have folks who haven't spoken just quickly introduce themselves. And I thought we could start with Callie Turigny. Callie, you can just give a quick introduction.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. My name is Callie Turigny. I am the Members Senior Vice President for SECD.
Thanks, Callie. Nicole?
Hi, everybody. I'm Nicole Kaufman-Dias, and I'm the Senior Vice President-elect for Student and Early Career Development Program.
Thank you, Nicole. Ty Booker? Oh, Ty, you're on mute.
Sorry. Hi, everyone. I'm Ty Booker. Actually, I work in the section operations department with Evelyn Taylor. So if you have any questions about sections, professional sections or student sections, feel free. Thanks.
Great. Brandy?
Hi, I'm Brandy Smith, ASME staff, and I work on our Efest and EFX programs.
Great. And Cheryl Hassan?
Hi, I'm Cheryl Hassan, and I work in engineering education and outreach, and I work on scholarships. So if you need a scholarship, I'm the person that helps you get that scholarship. Thank you.
Thanks, Cheryl. And Twish?
Hi, everyone. My name is Twish Mehta. I am the chair of the Efest Steering Committee. Happy to answer any questions that you have about Efest Digital upcoming or any other Efest programs.
Fantastic. Thanks, Twish. Evelyn?
Hey there, Evelyn. As Sarosh mentioned, I am the Director of Section Operations. Always here to support in any way that we can, so please feel free to reach out.
Great. Thank you all for introducing yourselves. The first question that we have is actually for Elizabeth. And the question is, can an undergraduate student share their story in FutureMe? I think this is probably referring to some of the competitions that you announced.
Yeah, I think if this is about the video submission event, that specifically is for people who have already received their undergraduate degree. So for that, I would say no, that's not available. But we are always interested in finding anyone who is excited about sharing their story. So if you do have an exciting story to share, if nothing else, you can email earlycareerengineers@asme.org and let us know your name and contact information, and we'll get back to you. Someone else might have something else specific in mind that they could mention, but we don't want to lose your interest, so definitely contact us with whatever idea you may have.
Great, thanks, Elizabeth. The next question that we have is about the Engineering for Change Fellowship program, and the question is, does an applicant need to have a research program to get selected for the Engineering for Change Fellowship? So I'll just respond to this quickly. The answer is no. It is a competitive program, but part of what you'll learn in terms of being a part of this program is actually how to do research, specifically in the global development space. So if you have a passion for global development and you're interested in the fellowship, I would strongly encourage you to apply and give it a shot. The next question is for Nathan. Nathan, the question is about the Environmental Systems Division oral competition. And the question is, can we speak on a project that we've already pitched in a different competition?
I would refer you to double check the rules, because I don't want to say an incorrect thing, but I'm pretty sure that you can. So please double check the rules before you submit it. But I think as long as you're not like, yeah, I would think that's possible.
Can I add something to that? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brandy.
I was just going to say, you can also send a question to esd@asme.org to clarify, and I'll pop that into the chat.
Yeah, thank you. I was going to mention that, and look at specific topic that the categories. So if you're undergraduate or a graduate or an early careers, they have specific topics for it. So as long as it's relevant to it, that may be fine.
Great, thank you all. The next question we have is about mentorship. I'll kind of open this up. Let me start with Ty Booker on this one, and then I'll open it up to others to comment. But the question that Ty, if you could start with, is how do I get started finding a mentor?
Oh, that's a great question. I'm not sure if the entire program is still up for mentorship. We used to have another program that actually was specifically for mentors, but what we can do, and I'll put my information in the chat, is if somebody does need a mentor, please contact me, and we can try and see if there's someone in your professional section that maybe an ECE that may be able to help you and would like to talk to you, and we can maybe further that relationship. And that's one way we can do that.
Fantastic. Anyone else have any advice on mentorship?
I'd like to add, mentoring is one of the huge benefits for being part of ASME, honestly. It's the informal mentorship in that sense. There, like Ty was mentioning, there was a more formal process beforehand. So one of the things that I would recommend, and I'm not sure if you're a student or if you're an early career or even a mid-career or a seasoned career, what you will do is go to our Efest Digital. Seriously, I'm not trying to just tell them to join it, but register for the Efest Digital. On there, we're going to actually have a lot of networking sessions, and that's a great way to find a mentor. You'll find out what kind of interest and so forth. So,
fantastic. Thank you, Callie. Our next question is also related to professional section. So Ty, I'm going to ask you or Evelyn to start on this one. The question is, I'm the liaison to professional sections of a newly formed ASME student section. How can I connect graduating seniors to the professional side of ASME?
Okay, I'll take that. Actually, that's a great question, and we've been trying to foster those types of relationships. So what I would say is definitely contact me, Booker T at asme.org, and I can get you connected if you do have a professional section in your area to, definitely get involved with maybe one of the leaders within that section and get that conversation going. Because we do want, all our graduating students to sort of have an opportunity to go to their professional sections and see what they're all about.
Great. Anyone else have any feedback around professional connections? Okay, let's move on to the next question. And this is another question about competitions. So Nathan, I'm going to rope you into this one. Do pitch and oral competitions only accept individual entries, or can you compete in a team?
They're only for individual contributors.
Okay, great, thank you. This next question we might require a little bit more clarification on. So we might ask this person to post a little bit more information, but the question is, how active is CECD in international districts, and what are the specific programs for professional engineers that CECD is working on? I'm going to assume this means SECD. And so Nicole, can I rope you in on this? How active is SECD in international districts, and what specific programs for professional engineers that SECD is working on?
So particularly on the Elizabeth's EPC or Early Career Engineer Programming Committee, we actually have a great representation of international volunteers who are working hard to make sure that the programs extend into whatever location you're at. So one of the ways that they foster that is through their online communities and really have a great LinkedIn presence in particular. And again, the FutureMe video contest that they're doing, or a campaign that they're doing currently, leads into some of the content that gets posted to that channel and is a great resource for peers, coaching peers, I would say, and sharing their own kind of professional experience to help out their peers. And it really is that kind of peer-to-peer network. Can you repeat the second part of the question again?
Yeah, the question was, what are the specific programs for professional engineers that SECD is working on?
And I would say again that, ECPC is the place for professional engineers. That's for our post-baccalaureate community, both grad students as well as those working in industry today, and really focuses on your post-graduation experience and transition into the workforce and those first 10 years out of school when you're trying to find your way and make your way through your first couple of positions and advancement opportunities.
Great. And Callie, did you want to add a little bit more to that?
Yeah. What was mentioned earlier from Elizabeth in regards to the future me. So honestly, a lot of times the webinars and the mini talks and then the ABC. So it's the ABCD is actually the abridged, what is it? Elizabeth, you're gonna have to help me.
Abridged basics of career development.
Yes, thank you. So that's where you can go online. They have different blogs and such that really helps address it. But the other thing I want to really urge people, excuse me, to share with us is if you see something that you really can't find it and you say like, gosh, they might be missing it, let us know, let Elizabeth know. We're always wanting to create new content because we do know things do change. So please make sure you connect with the different site, the community that we had posted on there, and I'll go find that and post it back in there, and then let us know as well. And that could be some of our specific sessions and topics and such. Thank you.
And Ty, can I also rope you into this question? So this question was asked by one of our former volunteers who played a big role in Pakistan. So just in terms of our professional and student section engagement in the region, is there any insights you can share? I know we always have a lot of students attending EFEST from Pakistan?
Yes, we do. I mean, that's an area where I think students are very interested in attending eFest and especially doing anything with ASME that they can possibly do. We are, I think our Pakistan section is actually, the professional section is revitalizing and coming back online. So if they do have, any questions, we have a whole staff of our section coordinators that actually are building all of those relationships with our professional sections and student sections. So definitely contact me and I will definitely put someone in contact with that person and we can get that ball rolling for them.
Fantastic. Thank you, Ty.
Yep.
Our next question is again for Nathan, and Nathan, this relates to competitions. And the question is, can the same person apply for all the ASME EFEST competitions? Won't the timings collide? I guess we can infer it's really about, can they enter multiple competitions?
You could definitely enter multiple competitions. I think there's very little collision if there's any. I don't quite have the dates lined up in front of me. But if you go to the Efest Digital website, we have this really awesome competition page that lists out all the deadlines and all the events for every competition. But I think there's very little collisions. I definitely encourage you to do multiple. And in the past, that's very common. Like we'll have team members for like student design competition also compete in the old guard oral competition. So go for it.
Fantastic. Thanks, Nathan. So next question, I'm just going to throw out to the group here. Can ASME help with getting internships? And Danielle, since you just spoke about this most recently, I was wondering if maybe you could kick us off.
Yeah, we just did a webinar talking about internships and how to get them. So we had an intern and then 2 people that had actually interacted on the professional side with the intern, one in a senior manager role. And their recommendations were based on what Callie said earlier, which is to mentor with people and to network with people. So, if you're really interested in getting to know somebody better and then working on, saying, hey, what do you recommend? Do you know anybody? Can you help? It's not quite as effective just to blatantly email your resume out to people and say, hey, get me an internship, but to really develop a relationship with them first in more of a mentoring capacity. And then like Callie said, we are working with the upcoming Efest Digital to have networking sessions that would allow you to potentially get internships or establish those relationships. So that's one of the recommendations, is to develop relationships through mentoring and then approach internships, especially in the COVID world where we're not quite face-to-face yet. Did you guys have anything else to add to that?
Yeah, actually, I want to add, and Daniel, what you had said was perfect and ideal. Sometimes people think like, what advice as far as getting a job, an actual physical job, but the other thing that ASME can actually help in is some of the skills and understanding that you may have to be able to do well in a job. So that's exactly what Danielle was referring to. So some of the people that you might be mentored by may not be able to actually get you a job with a company, but they may be able to allow you to have some of the advice and knowing what skill levels to pick up on, and doing competitions and such actually help. So what Nathan had mentioned about some of these oral competitions, oral competitions isn't something that most engineers like to do, but being able to communicate is going to be important. And you don't even have to say like, I'm going to be an entrepreneur and start my own business. But if you're a design engineer, like I was a design engineer, and if you can't communicate your idea to the project engineers and the manufacturing folks, then it doesn't matter how good of an analytical engineer you are. So those kind of skills are huge. And this is why we have all the programs that we have for it. I'm excited that we even have some early career competitions as far as that oral one as well. So thank you.
Great, thank you, Callie. Next question, let me throw this out to Twish. Twish, the question is, what does the Efest Steering Committee do?
Absolutely, and thank you for the person who asked the question. The Efest Steering Committee is primarily made up of volunteers as well as our staff partners, like the folks that you see on the screen today. and we're really responsible for the strategic and the execution, the strategic direction and the execution of all of our eFest and EFX programs, from Efest Digital and Efest Careers that happened in November, our face-to-face eFest that we were able to hold prior to COVID, as well as all of the EFX programs that many of you have already hosted or have expressed interest in hosting in the past and in the future. So what we do is we ensure that we work with our respective committees and our volunteers within the rest of the society, ensuring that we're tailoring our programs and our sessions to what's important to all of you, all of our student and early career engineers, ensuring that we are providing the adequate networking opportunities and really catering to what you're looking for in a digital event, in a face-to-face event, making sure that our competitions are enjoyable for all of our audiences, and also ensuring that that we're providing a rewarding experience when you come to eFest. So we're made up of a number of volunteers. We actually just recently closed some call for volunteers. But if you are interested in volunteering with the eFest Steering Committee, please do send an email to efest@asme.org, and just keep a lookout after Efest Digital. We plan to post some additional volunteer opportunities so that you can contribute.
Fantastic. Thank you, Twish, for responding to that. We have one more question, and I'm going to turn it over to a special guest. But Nathan, I think this question is for you. And the question is about Efest competitions. Are they only intended for undergraduate students?
Yeah, all of the competitions except for the Environmental Systems Division oral competition are for undergraduate students. So the ESD oral competition is open to undergrads, graduates, and early careers. So, but I also encourage if you're not an undergrad, please, you can always encourage formation of teams, and if you're encourage professors to start teams, these are great activities that can be done on a course level as well. So please share them.
Great, thank you, Nathan. So next, I'm going to turn it over to a special guest who just joined us. So Tom Costabile, who's the Executive Director and CEO of ASME, is here. And Tom, we have a bunch of our student community and early career community on the line for this town hall, and would love to hear a few words from you.
Well, thank you. I've actually been listening to the entire presentation. Once again, well done. I thought you guys presented well. Callie, Danielle, Nathan, Ty, Shiros, it was a great thing, and with the support team that's here, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Elizabeth and Cheryl and Brandy and my buddy Evelyn, who we haven't traveled a lot, but great job, guys. I really enjoyed this presentation. And Nicole, I'm looking forward to continuing our conversations as you step in shortly behind some big shoes, but she's not going too far soon. I think students, I started at ASME as a student member many years ago, and for me it was a rewarding experience, and it continues to be. I'm just pleased to be a part of the success that you guys have put together. The programs for this year, unfortunately, will still be a little bit more virtual than we want to be, but there's light at the end of the tunnel, and I believe that sometime the latter part of next year, we should be back into at least a hybrid set of meetings. It all depends upon the success and the rollout of the vaccine. So I would just encourage you guys to keep doing what you're doing, and I'm honored and humbled to be just a part of your success. So thank you all.
Thank you, Tom. We do have a few more minutes left for questions. If you have any questions, feel free to put them into the Q&A panel. I also just wanted to put a plug in for the scholarships program. So we do have our program manager for the scholarships program here, Cheryl Hassan. ASME and the ASME Foundation and ASME Auxiliary have a large number of scholarships available. We give out almost 100 scholarships a year. Many of you are probably eligible or know someone who's eligible for these. The scholarships are not just for US students, we also have international scholarships. So would strongly encourage you to take a look at the website, to consider submitting an application. And of course, if you have any questions, we're more than happy to answer that.
I would add also too that, as you know, as part of our capital campaign that's ongoing, we have many conversations with individuals and corporations to support continuing education. So My desire, anytime I can talk about engineering education, in particular mechanical engineering education, it's a great day for me. So there'll be more that'll come. So whatever you all can do to publicize it, please do that. I heard Twish on the call. Twish, are you there?
Yes, Tom, only in audio, I'm afraid.
Oh, no worries. Thanks for being part of it. I didn't want to be remiss if I didn't say thank you to you for your leadership at this group. It continues to run very well. So thank you, sir.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Great. So we have another question that's come in, and I'm going to refer this question over to you. The question is, does ASME have written specific set of rules and regulations for student regional board members?
Yes, actually, what we're working on the SSEC, which oversees the SRBs, the Student Section Enterprise Committee, which actually oversees the SRBs, is actually working on a handbook for the student regional boards. And that should be, I think that should be finished in the next maybe couple of months. So definitely before, I think the end of June. So, and probably before that. But if there are any specific questions or you have any specific issues, definitely let me know and we can talk about that.
And Ty, if someone wants to volunteer or throw their name in the ring for that type of role, how would they go about doing that?
Oh, that's a great question. I actually just sent out a little bit of information regarding the SRBs, and they are actually working on putting out applications for the new student regional chairs, which are open to all the student members. So that's definitely going to be a thing. So please be on the lookout for that application. We do want people to apply, and we're ready to speak with you when you have the opportunity.
Fantastic. Thank you, Ty. Sarosh, I think we're near the end here on the questions. Any closing thoughts before we wrap up?
Yeah, no, just a big thank you to all of our panelists, guests, and of course, everyone who attended. We're really excited about what we have going on into the spring and summer. And then, yeah, just stay in touch with us via social media, our website, opt in for updates, and stay connected. I think especially as we're coming off of this year and going into hopefully a more normal year, but I think there's a lot of great content and programming we have planned for our community. So we're just excited to keep connected with everyone. So thank you everyone for joining us today. Thank you to all of our guests, and we'll talk to you again soon.